What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nonsensical Knowledge Podcast. This is episode number 72. Welcome back. Irv, what's good, baby? What's going on?
What's up? Fucking hump day. Let's get it.
I know, right? Almost there. Almost cruising to the weekend. Shit. Been pretty busy though. Trump's first couple days in office. The uptick in the news, man, has just been super.
Rapid fire. Rapid fire.
Let's see what we got here. We got one comment with us. Let's see who it is. Oh, look at there's Cam.
Yo,
what up, Cam? What's good, Brody? What you doing tonight? Cam? How you feel about Trump winning?
When you dropping your stream, bro? I'm waiting.
I know. Let's get that Twitch stream.
Get that Twitch stream going. Tap in, say what up.
That's what I mean. We'll come bust your balls on the Twitch stream.
Hell yeah.
Trump for a third term.
God damn.
Yeah, it should get weird, bro. He starts changing rules like that, and I'll have a fucking conniption out here.
Oh, they're already started, man. They are.
Right.
Every timeline is like Civil War already, which is crazy because the liberals are back now, which is kind of whack because they've been quiet this entire time. Biden's been in doing his bullshit fuckery. Like, now you want to speak up. Like, that shit's not real to me.
Yeah. Well, right. It's not real at all. And it's tough when you sit it out just because it doesn't fit your model, I guess, in a sense, and I guess they have so much backing on that side of the aisle that they just remain quiet as opposed to like getting in the way, in a sense, for the Democrats,
Yeah. I'm independent, man. Like, if it makes sense, if it's a good idea, I'll support it, bro. I don't care who drops it. But the silence, like, on each side, it's not just them. It's like, call it out, though. You know what I mean? Like, don't just ride with the team because you're on that team. Like, if shit's fucked up and you don't believe in it, it's okay to say something.
Yeah. And well, that's how it should be. Like what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up is that they just they stay so hard line in like their aisle, and it's good because a lot of people are going independent these days. Like they just don't want to have that what do we think? All right, Tokyo, London. What do we think of the salute from Elon Musk? Well, it definitely did not look good. I honestly, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like that was his intention. Irv, how do you feel about it?
I think it was more of a Roman salute than anything. Could be just a troll, you know what I mean? But I mean, it also just feels like more of the media narrative. Like, we're starting it up again. Let's just get this Nazi narrative going again. Because everybody's talking about that right now.
Yeah. Well, right, exactly. And like, I mean, it's just the dude hit it so hard that it just like made it look really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also feel Like the dude is autistic, so who knows? Like I'm not an expert, so I don't know what the intention was behind it. But one of the most interesting things that like came to mind though was the weirdo connection between Elon and like Werner von Braun, right? So like there's not like they didn't know each other or anything like that. But at the same time, he kind of uh he kind of inspired him. You know what I mean? Um and those dudes were all Nazis. Like Operation Paperclip. What'd you say, Irv?
No, I totally agree with you.
So it's like Operation Paperclip brought over, I think, like 15 or 1600 real life Nazis. Like, and these guys were the pioneers of the space game. Werner von Braun was actually considered the godfather of NASA. And this dude was like having brunch with Hitler. So one of the theories is, and this is like an older theory, it's not even has anything to do with Elon, but that they were like taking those scientists, and those scientists would go in different departments of the government, different like Wright Patterson, they'd go to Dolce, they'd go here, they'd go there. But what they were really doing was setting up like what a lot of people called the Fourth Reich inside the US government. Now, I'm not saying that applies to Trump and Elon. I'm just saying it's a cool theory. If anybody looks into it, it's super interesting. Unhonest Cam says Tokyo London is a punk for that comment. So, with that being said, Irv, though, what's the difference between a Roman salute and a really, really bad salute?
Let's get something. Let's get some context up here. Yeah, I mean, homie threw it out. I mean, he said he was clearly throwing hearts out and shit.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I took from it, but it is like it's insane because the internet just goes fucking wild. They go just ape shit right off the rip, and the memes have been wild.
Yeah, nonstop, right?
Constantly. Let's see here. We got 6 people with us so far. 2 on X, 4 on YouTube, none on Facebook yet, none on Twitch. IG, I believe we have 1, 2, 3. What up, everyone? Where you guys tapping in from? We got, we're catching up on all the executive orders. We got some new UFO information as well. That was picked up on 4chan for some whistleblowers. We don't know how true the information is, but it's pretty interesting to say the least. What do we got on the Roman salute? Tokyo London's gonna get us banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. I know a lot of people were like saying that there was a lot of similarities between the two of them. I honestly had never even really heard of the Roman salute prior. I thought people were kind of using that to avoid using the direct terminology, I guess.
Nah, just like I've been, following and connected with him just off crypto a lot. So like every single day, like seeing this dude tweet, like you get to see like his thoughts, like every single day, like straight obsessed with the Roman Empire. Like a couple times a week, he's posting about the Roman Empire. Like I just watched the Gladiator 2 today too. Same thing. Did the salute in the movie. Like so, if homies watching Gladiator 2. Like they throw it on the fist on the chest and throw it up. You know, I mean, it could be whatever, or you could straight up be down for the cause. You know what I mean? So it's hard to know what's in somebody's head when they're acting. You know what I mean? Like it's just hard.
Yeah,
But
no doubt about it. Like it really is hard to speculate what someone's true intentions are. And with that being said, I just feel like Trump wouldn't have probably went for that, and the ADL came out as well, and the Anti-Defamation League, which is like a huge proponent in some of those things, um, basically said they didn't feel that way either.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Anti-Defamation League came out and said that they didn't see it as that.
Yeah.
So, to me, like, I mean, I think again, some of it's trolling, and then I think what was it? Trump's son or son-in-law is Jewish.
Oh yeah.
And then I believe his daughter converted or something like that as well, right?
Yeah, Kushner, Ivanka, and Musk rolls with Israel hard anyway. You know what I mean? He went over, kissed the wall, and all of that. Last year I think he did that. Met with Netanyahu. Like so, Cat's been same shit. Like Cat's come at him on X about it. Like, oh, you're kissing Israel's ass or whatever. Like he ignores the subject, but nah, he has not said one thing about Palestine. You know what I mean?
Sure. What was his tweet though? Didn't he put up a tweet and said he said something about the Nazi story being old or some shit. I know he tweeted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he tweeted about it. You know what I mean? It could have been fake. I would check Twitter real quick, but as far as I know,
recently,
yeah, he was just in regards to what he did. You know,
the controversy.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh man, it's like kind of played out." Like I think it was something along those lines, like the Nazi stories kind of played out. But again, I think with all them factors, I think people just are seeing billionaires. A lot of the issue right now is people are seeing Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, fucking who was the other cat? Vivek, Elon, all in the front row of Trump's inauguration, and they're concerned. They're concerned that this is billionaires buying a president. But I don't know if that necessarily constitute being like, okay, well, they're Nazis. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost feel like it's that lightning trigger word. You know what I mean?
Let me say. The radical leftists are really upset that they had to take time out of their busy day praising Hamas to call me a Nazi.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so he's trolling, you know. I think in the response, you know, but at the same time, it's like, man, I don't know why people latch on to these things, and I get it. It definitely looked terrible. It did not look good, you know, but I don't think again you go that route, especially with all of see if you can find the Anti-Defamation League one because they definitely put out a statement about it as well. Let's see here. We're gonna have to share this to some direct messages because Facebook be playing. Shout out to the 5 people we have out there, but let me see, and a couple on IG as well. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. But I know the ADL put out a message for it.
Got it.
All right, there it is. So it seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute, but again, we appreciate that people are on edge. Is there anything else to that quote? Musk ignited speculation online during his Monday speech at President Trump's celebratory event. While addressing the large crowd, he placed his right arm on the left side of his chest and extended the arm straight across from. It's so wild how they just like fucking, they got to go play by play. The Tesla CEO then turned around and made the gesture again. My heart goes out to you, Musk told the crowd after making the gesture. And it's thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Representative Jerry Nadler, sounds like a dork, was one of many critics who slammed the SpaceX executive and Trump's ally, writing Monday on X that I never imagined we would see the day when what appears to be a HH salute, because I already know they're triggering that shit, would be made behind the pulpit. So, but either way, I guess the point of this whole thing was that the ADL, who is typically all over that shit, they don't fuck around. They will file lawsuits. This is what they're there for, the anti-defamation, and they are super protective of Jewish people. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what they do. And even they're saying that they didn't take it like that,
Which is huge. And, people are on edge. I think you mentioned it with the tech billionaires out there. Anything to spew against that right now, but just guys, go through the weeds on that. But I think it's more less than what it is.
Yeah, I think obviously it is concerning sometimes when you feel like all that power next to the president, but at the same time, if it's harnessed correctly, that shit could change the world,
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good segue into all of the executive orders that Trump signed the first day in office. What do you do, like 100 or so?
Yeah, it was
like 90, I think it was.
Yeah, at least 90. Yeah, 90.
So
That shit been wow.
a lot of shit. So again, a lot of controversial shit, the DEI shit. The I did just hear something about the transgender rights thing, like something about that they, I don't know. To me, it sounded like some clickbait headline shit, but that Trump had annexed, or not annexed, excuse me, axed rights of transgender people on, like, to transition under 18. Like, so if they were kids, basically. But then also, like, took it out of schools. What was it? I fired General Milley and then took his picture down out of the Pentagon. He's been doing some wild shit, man.
Yeah, a lot on the border. He also got rid of the transgender operations for prisons.
Okay.
He's like, they should not be getting, you know, those type of services
Well,
being
yeah,
locked up.
yeah, I 1000% agree with that. You're in a you're supposed to be in a penal institution, so like I mean your actual health and shit like that is supposed to be covered. You know what I mean? Like basic medical health care, make sure you get through, make sure you're okay. But to have like that's what are those called? An elective surgery? Is that considered an elective surgery?
I, I would say it's elective. Many may say it's not. I think it's elective.
Yeah, but it's a one way or the other, it's a cosmetic surgery. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so to me, I don't feel like they should have that in prison as well. So I feel like that was a good move. I felt like the move to mobilize the military towards the cartel
Mhm.
was a good move as well.
Yeah, no, that was good. Started some of the deportations, not of everyone, starting with the hard criminals, the 60,000 convicted murderers that they let into the country, the 40,000 convicted rapists that they let into the country. Um, Starting with cats like that, which I'm totally on board for, but it's not. It's easy for everybody to overreact on all of this stuff, but nah, those cats need to go. Like
Well,
they
yeah, I had this conversation with someone earlier. A lot of people just take it as an absolute, like every immigrant, every migrant, every no. What happened was there was a lot of criminals let into our country. We're not saying, even he's not saying that that's every single one of them. No, but there were a fair amount of terrorists, a fair amount of convicted rapists, murderers, all the worst of certain societies that we were taking in.
correct.
Like what I didn't know too was that there was an app, bro, where they would just schedule a time to be at the border to cross.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
bananas.
When we were working across from the hotel there, um, that was housing the migrants. Um, yeah, they all had the app. Um, Access to attorneys, doctors, healthcare, like food resources, free rides, like the whole nine, bro. I'm, I'm. Where's our app? You know what I mean? You got an app, bro? Tap into government resources like that, like
Right.
on a dime. Like, I mean, that's crazy. That's really crazy. But yeah, no, he knows we need him. Doing jobs, doing a lot of jobs. The immigrants help a lot of stuff in our country. So he and all those money cats, they know they need them. You know what I mean? So they're definitely not sending everybody out of here.
Well, no question. And again, I think it's just more so the criminals and the people that because when I heard an uproar too about him making like English the official language of America. I guess that was like one thing he did as well. I don't know how true it is, but allegedly he like declared English was the official language here. So there was people in an uproar about that, and I was like, well, no, listen, if I was to move to France or somewhere, you would think that I should, if I wanted to be a citizen of their country, I would learn their language, right? It doesn't have to be my primary language, but I should know the language, and this goes back to some of the processes that it takes to come into the country, right? So you got to be, what are you providing to the community? How are you contributing to the whole? And is it negatively or positively?
That's so true. I mean, we got a case study in Europe. Like Europe, like basically screwed themselves, dude. Like, um, it tilted everything. Where now basically like they're running shit. Like all of these countries are totally different countries. I think that was the plan for here. Realistically, they think we're spoiled. We're too rich. We got too much. We need to share the resources with the rest of the world, and that's just really what they were doing with this influx.
Well, right, and it was really meant to eat us from the inside out, you know. And when you send a bunch of criminals over here, guess what ends up happening? A whole bunch of fucking crime, you know. And then it's like you have gangs, Venezuelan gangs, taking over apartment complexes where people, the cops didn't go in there, SWAT teams didn't go in there, the military didn't go in there. Like what that's the level of what was actually happening. Let's say fuck the eating cat shit, whatever. It is what it is. But the actual crime that was happening was really very bad and severe.
Yeah,
So
really, really bad.
it's gonna be interesting to see how ICE handles it because ICE is in charge of that shit, right?
Yeah, ICE Homeland Security as well.
4 Chilean men indicted in high-profile burglary probe, possibly tied to break-in at Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's home. Damn, I didn't even see this.
Yeah, so it's like
This was
cats
January
illegals,
22nd.
but these cats are part of these gangs. Like they've been hitting up Hollywood homes too, like quarterbacks. Like they see these cats playing games. Like these types of dudes, they want to get out of here because normally these dudes get arrested and they weren't getting deported. You know what I mean? They were getting released back on the streets. So I mean, what does that do to the communities? You know what I mean? Like, okay, you guys aren't supposed to be here. You rob, you steal, or you kill somebody, and they're letting you back out on the streets. That's just
Yeah.
not good for any of us. And that affects
Well,
us all.
yeah, and the prisons are already overpacked. You know, so like right now we're at a overcapacity point, and you can't make conditions better for anybody with that kind of model. You know, so when you have all of this shit happening, guess what? We got to scoop them up. As crazy as it sounds, we have to. There's no question. You know, otherwise you just have literally there was like something like 60 to 80,000 people that were actually on watch lists that made it through the border.
Yeah, the numbers are crazy, man. Crazy. Like, what? Like, you guys really allowed that shit? Like, and everybody, they're in every neighborhood. You know what I mean? They're not, no
Oh, they're
neighborhood was
everywhere.
spared. Yeah. So it's like nobody knows where they went. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the missing children that are out there. Like, you
Which is
know,
a whole nother fucking story, bro, because they were separating them from their families and sending them with sponsors.
yeah.
You can't make this shit up.
And don't know where they are. Like, sent them somewhere. I mean, estimates are like 500,000 kids. Um, Nobody knows where they are.
Right. And this is just how it goes, man. Is like these kids are just gone with the wind. Like how would they ever sort that out? Like there's no records, no filing. You know what I mean? Excuse me.
Yeah, I wondered when, because a lot of the people um, that I've met, that have come here have no documents, no nothing. And then you know, 2 months later, they got their social security card, driver's license. I'm like, yeah, what did you just go in there? Like, yeah, I'm John Robertson, and they're like, when's your birthday? Oh, today. They're like, here you go. Here's your information. Like how? Like how, bro?
Yeah, but right, when it was all by design, man, that's what they wanted. What really happened is they want to win this election so bad that they were giving these cats whatever they could to persuade them to pull up to the polls and vote. You know what I mean? Because really in California, like they said, they were making it illegal. You would go to jail if you asked somebody for an ID out there to vote.
Bro.
What up, George? Thanks for tapping in, bro. We got 18 with us so far. We got 11 on X, 3 on YouTube, 3 on Facebook, 1 on Twitch. Let's tap in over at Instagram. Let's see what's going on there. Shout out to Rumble too. I can't see Rumble's numbers as per usual. But yeah, it's gonna be intriguing to see how they get it out, man, and what happens. It's a lot of people. It's a big movement, man. There's like they're gonna spend billions to get these people out.
No, that's the only thing. It's still gonna cost hella money to um to undo.
Yeah. Oh, again, if at the very least, if he can, I guess, in a sense, accomplish half of what he has set out to, you know, um, it would be cool, I guess. If he really wants to be that unifier and that peacemaker, I think a lot of good things can happen. Um, we'll see though. We got a new president and shit is on fire.
Yeah, man. It's a wild time. I'm measured. I lived through Clinton, Bush, Obama, all of them. Not much change for the average man. You know what I mean? Like you still got to get up and do your damn thing, do your hustle, and make it. So a lot of that shit, doesn't affect you directly, but we still pay attention to it and see what's coming.
Of course, and we want to stay up to date and kind of get a beat on what they're doing to us out here because there really is two sides to every coin. So like with a good government, there's a bad government. With a bad government, there's a good government. With good UFO disclosure, there's bad UFO disclosure. There's it's and it's really sifting through the weeds and having or trying to have all of the information to make our own guesstimates because we'll never be 100% accurate, but um it's fun to guess. So what were some of the other big executive orders that you saw that you were intrigued with?
Gulf of America, baby.
So wait, that's it now? That's what it is?
Yeah, it's starting to come out on official government documents when they talk about it. Gulf of America being it's law now. I mean, it's
Who
what it's
who gets
called.
to decide that? Like what it's called? What like it's like the Indian Ocean. Who named it the Indian Ocean?
Nah, big homie gets to decide that shit. Like, nah, this is Gulf of America now, son. Like, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't even know who named it Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, because like I mean, don't get it twisted. Mexico's got a good piece of it, but it's not like it's the entire thing. That shit goes all the way to Florida, right?
Yeah, all the way down Mexico, some of South America. But I was thinking today too, like North America, South America, so everybody's included. Let's rock. Um,
America, bro.
Yeah, America.
Just make,
Um,
make one
Other
big
shit was
America.
the DEI shit. Uh, Equity, inclusion, offices closed down.
Diversity.
Diversity and inclusion, equity and
So now,
inclusion.
so well, now, obviously, with that was a program where it incentivized having minority candidates or something, right? In like positions of leadership, I believe. I don't want to misquote it, but now, how do you feel about him taking that away now, like getting rid of it, making it all
Um,
merit based?
I think it's dope. I mean, because it goes too far one way. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we gotta get. It's almost like you got a token up in the shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't like it because it started becoming every minority or woman that was in a position like, oh, you're DEI. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro. I worked my fucking ass off, went to school, learned. I'm smart as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Earned
it
it.
was, yeah. It creates division. Like, oh my, he might be DEI, yo. Or looking over white people too. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I mean, white guys and males have been hated. You know what I'm saying? Like they especially on the left, um they just like, oh, you're a heterosexual cis male, like you
Yeah.
disgust me. You
Yeah,
disgust
bro.
me. You're a power broker. I'm like, homies I know is just trying to make it just like me.
Yeah.
They ain't got no power to hold nobody down. Like and um I just don't, bro. I don't feel like we should rock like that, man. You gotta. There
Well,
should be merit.
you're almost stoking the flames of racism by doing that. Because you're just like it's like that what was that other shit in the schools? The race fucking what was that race theory or critical race theory?
Oh, critical race theory. Yeah.
It's like that. It's like I don't know, like I feel like if you taught love and respect and just let everybody be themselves, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Don't tell kids they should be trans. Don't tell kids that they should be anything. Let them grow into who they're going
Who
to
they're
be.
gonna be.
Like I think that's the more natural way to go, than to like once you keep stoking the flames, man, listen, we can eradicate racism, but you got to want
Mm-hmm.
to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Forcing. Yeah, like critical race theory, like forcing forcing people to come to a realization, like, nah, you should just be in society, Like, yeah, some people will never intermingle or like know people outside of their race. They just don't, for whatever reason. I don't have access or whatever. But like you said, just teaching um, goodness, love, peace, respect should go across any. Don't matter what the hell you are.
Yeah, it should. It transcends most religions and borders. So it's like if you lived on that tip instead of pushing the negative, the hate, the violence, again, stoking the fires, even in amongst religions, because realistically, when you look at it, it's Christianity versus, or excuse me, you know, what is it there? The Jews versus the Muslims, and then the Christians versus the Jews with the Muslims. It's like everybody versus everybody, and it's like you're all telling the same exact story with different characters. Maybe some stuff over there, like in some of the more radical, like Muslim countries, is a little shaky. You know what I mean? We're not going to take credit for any of that shit, but at the same time, you're still telling this story of a higher power or higher consciousness, whatever it manifests as. But nobody's actually living. Like, you think God wanted fucking people to be like, oh, you know what? Let's build tanks to kill everybody. You know what? Let's try this. God wanted the best drones, dude. You know, like,
Yeah.
no, stop
Yeah,
playing.
man. Yeah. So people are freaking out about that shit, man. I just like, I don't know, man. Like, I've been dealing with that shit my entire life. You know what I mean? Like, I get shit from the black community, get shit from the white community. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I just want to be a person, bro. Like, why is everything got to be built around my race? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just Herb, bro. Like, I'm cool with whoever. You know what I'm saying? You cool with me? I'm cool with you. Like, I don't give a fuck what you are, Asian, trans. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
your business.
that's
You know,
that's
you know
your
what I'm saying?
business.
That's your business, bro. Like,
Yeah,
but it's
that
merit based.
yeah, and and that makes more sense, because like you said, there are people of color or women or minorities that really did work super hard to get to the places they were, and then to have this like, oh hey, now I'm considered DEI, like that's that is super disrespectful and probably super demeaning to somebody who worked that hard. And again, not only that, takes I know they did something with the airliners too, because they were basically like they removed all the DEI from there too, because there was pilots that just weren't qualified. They were just given the job. They were like, here's the job, bro. Go fly
Mm-hmm.
this plane, and it didn't work out well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a big one, man. It's a big one, but that's like, again, just like, it's almost like pandering in a sense, like you're pandering to the people to, I don't know, you're stoking the flames. That's what the government does. So why not? But that's cool. I'm glad they got rid of it. I would prefer a more merit based system as well. If you worked hard, it shouldn't matter who you are. I don't believe in a wage disparity either. Like, everybody should be compensated fairly and according to experience, or however your employer does it. And that's how it should be. Everybody, we shouldn't even be talking about this shit. We should.
No.
This is like how crazy the world is. It's like we should not even be. We should be talking about growing the crops and the foods for the communities, and how we can get our sick healthy. How, you know what I mean? Like, just, it should be way different, man.
Yeah, it should be beyond it. Like, yes, there's historical. We're not saying none of that shit ever happened, or there wasn't issues in the past or nothing like that. We're
No,
not
there's still
looking
issues.
past that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
and there's still issues. But like, for me on my journey, like, my parents were always like, yes, racism and that stuff does exist, but you got to use your brain. You know what I mean? You got to educate yourself. You got to be smart. You got to know how to talk to people. You got to know how to deal with people. Like, it was character based. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you are a young black man, but you use your brain and get after it. Like, people got to respect you. Nobody can
yeah,
hold you out of something because of your race. So don't be a victim. And that's what's fucked up, is that they're teaching like these minority kids like, you're a victim. You're not a fucking victim. You know what I mean? Like, if you think that, you got a victim mentality, you know what I'm saying? And that sets you back. Like,
yeah, of
we're not
course.
fucking we're not victims, bro. Like, so that shit annoys the hell out of me and annoyed the hell out of me. But um I'll teach my kids the same damn thing, bro. Like, nah, get after it. Use your damn brain. Be smart. Like, nobody can fucking stop you.
Yeah, and that's it. And you keep pushing. Life presents its challenges to every one of us, and we really got it. And we really are coming into the times where these kids are gonna have superpowers. you know.
Mhm.
So it's we're looking at a bolder future, but we also gotta start letting go of some of the
We
fucking
do.
shit that separates us, you know. I've
Mhm.
said it for years about borders and about, just having this whole territorial map thing. You know, we when we sit here and we say, "Oh, Russians," or the Afghanis, like it just there's a negative connotation as opposed to being like, no, these are my human brothers and sisters. Like this, no, it's just that you're almost looked at as like the enemy as opposed to what we should be.
Off rip, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's real shit.
It should be a communal society, man, and everybody should be able to pull from each other.
Yeah,
And you take care of the criminals, and guess what? They don't do it again.
they
And they
don't
used
do
to
that
take.
shit.
They still do it in countries now. Get caught messing with kids or something like that, they're going to take you out front. They're going to gather everyone around, and they're going to shoot you in your face.
Yeah,
Guess what's not going to happen that often, you know? So, but that's just a part of this shit. This is the weird shit that they have us talking about in 2025 is DEI and, you know, climate change, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
straight climate change.
yeah, well, that's the crazy part about like these super radical, like look at what was it, like New York, California, they're super Democrat states, you know what I mean? But it's just this same push, man. And like I know Trump had did a lot to take back what Biden did in executive orders towards climate change as well.
Yeah, that too. In New York, you can't new construction, no gas. You can't use gas. You know what I mean? Like it's basically banned. Like no new gas connections. So it's
Right?
it's it's just wild, man. But like you said, like Trump can do executive orders. The next president could do executive orders to undo them. So it's like, um,
How long does it really last, you know?
yeah, if you don't like the results, like get out there, get active. You know what I mean? Like fight for what you believe in. You know what I mean? Organize, get people out to vote. Like that's what our system's based on. Well, and money too. Let's not forget the damn. Let's not forget the bread. But
No, you definitely need the bread because that's how a lot of people get pushed out. A lot of independent people get pushed out is because you just to to compete with. This is why we always end up with a Republican or a Democrat because they got the biggest pocketbooks. They're the ones that got millions of dollars, the super PACs, the fucking what are the charitable events like the $100,000 a plate dinners, like it's this. That's why you don't ever see anything like that because you can't compete. Like that's why you'll never see like a Jill Stein because she just can't raise enough money. There's like it's impossible.
no,
Trump had bread. Trump had bread.
yeah.
So it's,
I mean, Kamala raised 1.3 billion in
and
months.
ended up 20 million in debt or some shit.
Yeah, a shitty campaign.
I know. I can't even believe I'm still baffled that anybody and listen, if there's anybody out there that listens to our podcast and actually genuinely wanted Kamala to win, let us know. Like let us know what your thoughts are on this shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like that shit was weak. The nomination was not done properly. right? Like we can all agree upon that. Like, how do you feel that is now? Is it okay that happened because it's Trump, or is it just no? Like that's like a diversion of the Constitution. So
Big time.
like that's a big deal to me. Same thing with the pardons. Like innocent people don't need pardons.
Oh, I forgot about Fauci and them, dude.
That's what bro, we didn't
That's how
even get
much
into
shit's
Fauci.
going. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying though, is just so when you really get into it, after the Congress report, after lying dead ass to like right straight to Rand Paul's face in front of Congress under oath, this dude the Senate comes out with the 500-page report we went over on one of our prior episodes. That comes out, and we have definitive proof that Fauci lied to Congress, and he pardons him.
Preemptive back to 2014.
Yeah.
All of the labs in Ukraine, all of the labs in China. I think you got some in Turkey, all over the world, man. That Fauci gave money to do the gain of function experiments with these vaccines and also COVID, man. Like that's like the biggest FU to everybody who died, man. That Biden dropped.
Well, again, yeah, it really is. And when we're talking about, if we listen, let's just go by the numbers they gave us. Okay. Now, say every person that really died in those numbers died actually from COVID. That's in the millions, man. And we know they churched up the numbers. We know they lied about a lot of them. So you could have died in a car accident. They were giving you COVID on the way out because they were getting paid for it. Hospitals were getting paid for this shit. It was incentivized for people to have COVID. And Fauci gets a pardon. What about all the people that are going to have effects going forward? The people that are having effects right now. What's the what's the heart condition? Myocarditis.
Yeah.
So that's like these are things, and this is why we do this shit, because we really want to get it out there that this is not how our government is supposed to operate. This is not how it's supposed to be. You lie to Congress, you go to jail for perjury. You have to be held accountable. Biden also pardoned all of his family members, which would mean, why would they need pardons? And it kind of confirms that he was getting all that money through his daughters, his sisters, his niece. You know what I mean? Like there was like a whole bunch of people that got pardoned.
Yeah, I mean his like 10-year-old granddaughter was getting like $100,000 checks in her name. His brother, yeah, like it was bad. Like that, it was a whole family thing. Caking it,
Making a lot of money.
Nobody's gonna pay for it. I mean, that information's out there still, so you can look it up. It's actually in Senate reports, right, Ed?
Yeah.
Senate reports, the paper trails. You have the Hunter Biden laptop stuff. Oh, he also, The
Caught apart.
51 intelligence agents. He stripped them of their what's it called?
Security clearances.
Security clearances. The ones who signed that letter, which I agree. Like they lied.
Well, yeah, and imagine that in a country like ours, there was 51 senior intelligence officers that were willing to lie about Hunter Biden's laptop to cover up for the president's son. Isn't that's pretty fucking wild to me?
During
That means,
the election.
well, yeah, exactly. That's when they found the laptop, right? It was like, I can't remember the exact details, but I believe Hunter either pawned it or left it at a computer service shop, something like that. And homeboy went through it and turned it over to the FBI. Then the FBI buried it. Oh, these are all of them.
Yeah, these are all their grills, man.
Shout out to everybody with us. 17 on X, 3 on YouTube, 2 on Facebook, 1 on Twitch. Let's see if we got anybody on IG. Not right this second. Shout out to anybody on Rumble as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Consider supporting the channel. So these are the 51 intelligence agents, and I'm assuming they are from various places in the intelligence community. So that could be anywhere: NSA, CIA, FBI, DOD.
John
So, what's that?
John Brennan's in there.
Oh, yeah, let's see.
He's mad.
So I don't know any of their first names, but we got Bakos, Bash, Bram Mayer, Brennan, Bruce, Buckley, D. Carrions, J. Carrions. Ooh, husband and wife spies. Shout out, George. Thanks for tapping in with us, man. We appreciate you. Later. So where we leave here. So Clapper, Corsell, Davis, Fingar, Gerstel, Hall, Harrington, Hayden, Hepburn. I can't see that one. That's something Mendez. Kilborn, Colby, Leggett, Leitman, Marks, McLaughlin, Morell, Mosman. So a lot of these cats, nobody's ever even fucking heard of.
Nah, I know Panetta, Clapper, Brennan.
Panetta sounds familiar.
Yeah. But there are a lot of like Clinton, Obama cats who he leaned on. But they've been around during Bush, just lifelong cats involved in even the Iraq war stuff. You know, weapons of mass destruction. These cats are lifelong.
Yeah.
Collecting the check.
The same cats pushing war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting too when Trump said that shit about Liz Cheney, you know, about how like she was really big into pushing for war because, and by the way, she caught a pardon as well. But she was big into pushing war, and her dad just so happens to be Dick Cheney, who is also the CEO. I don't know if he's the current CEO. I'm sure we can find out, but he's the CEO or was the CEO of Halliburton, which for anybody that doesn't know, Halliburton is a defense contractor, which they'd put bids in on all the wars in like Iraq and shit like that. And this Halliburton would be hired to go in there and rebuild these nations. which was wild because Dick Cheney stepped away, became vice president for a while. They go to Iraq, blow the shit up. Guess who gets fucking the contracts? Halliburton. He leaves office, just goes back to being CEO, you know?
Billions of dollars.
Government money.
See, and that's Republican shit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's this pendulum, bro. It's like no, we're not like shitting on just Democrats or whatever. Like
It's
wrong is
all of
wrong.
them.
Wrong is wrong. Like that shit's wrong. And if it's a Republican doing it, we'll say it. If it's a Democrat doing it, we'll say it. Like wrong is wrong.
Yeah. And we got to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
We got to call the shit. It can't go unsaid. And yeah, we're about all of that shit, man. It really is. Like the Obama, who was probably one of my most favorite presidents in a sense, was one of the bigger pieces of shit. You know what I mean? And nobody really even talks about him, like bombing weddings and bombing churches and bombing, you know what I mean? Like drone wars and like, but at the same time, it like you said, that was a perfect representation, Irvis. It's a pendulum. Right now, the focus is on the Republicans. It was just on the Democrats. Before that, it was on the Republicans. Before that, it was on the Democrats. Yeah, and it really has swung that way because let's see. We'll go over real quick. So Trump, then Biden, then Trump again, then Obama, then Bush, and who was before Bush? Clinton.
Clinton. Yeah, Clinton.
Right.
Clinton,
yeah. So and it's literally gone back and forth from Republican to Democrat ever since. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, they all, and we're in this current state, drew out all of that. You know what I mean? The massive amounts of debt our country has, like our borders, jobs, like low incomes, like housing crisis, the whole shit, bro. Not prepared. Our infrastructure's shitty. Water sucks. Like schools are failing. Like how can you be like, oh, this is my side? This shit happened on all of their watches.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's everybody it's they've always profited over actually changing any real problems. Every one of them. It doesn't matter who it is, you name it. They literally have left. How do you go from making what's a president make? $300K a year?
Yeah, around that, yeah.
So let's say $300K a year. It might have went up by now, but $300K times 4, what's that? That's 12, right? So that's 1.2, right? And then let's say you get 2 of those terms. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're leaving as multi-billion millionaires, man. And that's not from the presidential salary. That's from like all the backdoor book deals and come talk at this function, come do this, come pander to the, to what is it? What's that big one they do every year? It's like the big Christian dinner.
It's to George. Kamala didn't go this year. I forget.
It's like a big deal in Washington every year. It doesn't matter which president, but it's a big deal. Shout out to everybody that reacted as well. We appreciate you guys. Up to 24 chilling with us on this chilly Wednesday night in the polar vortex of the Northeast right now.
South too, bro. South. Hella snow. New Orleans, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina.
They're all getting snow, right?
Snowstorm, Yo, cats in New Orleans was putting the Creole sauce on the snow. They never get snow, bro.
That's fucking funny, man. Listen, I remember at a time when I lived in Virginia for like a year and a half, 2 years, that there was like one of their craziest snowstorms that they had ever had at the time. And like it was normal to us because we were from New York. So like going to build a snowman, like that was what was the natural thing to do. But then the neighbors would be like looking at us like, yo, what in the fuck are these guys doing? Like these fucking snowmans, like you're bugged out.
Well,
But they didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't really have plows. They shut down schools for like a fucking week over like a foot of snow. I was like, oh man.
yeah, no plows, no nothing. Just get after it.
Yeah. Nah, what do you think? So what do you think's going on? I know it's kind of off topic, but what do you think is going on with these weather patterns, man? We're having some serious weather shit going on recently. Hurricanes, polar vortexes, fucking wildfires, weird shit.
Well, they just came out with maybe a month ago. The main current in the Atlantic is super slow.
Really?
Which that regulates like the temp of the planet. Like they were worried like stopping or some shit. Like that's how it was sounding to me. But yeah, that's a major issue. That's ice age shit. We got the sun just blasted. We had auroras down here. Sun's blasting shit. Fires.
We got a major alignment coming up too as well, right?
Yep, major planetary alignment. And I seen some shit. What was it? Declassified. The CIA classified a book. A dude wrote about the cataclysms.
Really?
Let's see. Yeah, he wrote about the cataclysms that happen every 6,500 years. And then I guess the CIA classified it. They just released some of it. I was digging into it today, and that shit was crazy. He was like talking about Adam and Eve, like their cataclysm, like the Egyptians. He was talking about like the same shit you said earlier with everything being the characters are the same, but he was on the lines like these patterns just create their new characters like to these stories, but then the cataclysms happen and wipe shit out. You got to find out what book that is, but yeah, that was interesting, man. Like I think something's shaking.
Yeah. Well, it could explain a lot of things too with the recent upticks in a lot of these drone situations and UAPs too as well because we're in like hyperdrive with that shit right now. Like that something's happening and that's kind of why like I asked how you felt about the weather thing because there really have been a lot more extreme events like weather events and also an uptick because like there could be an argument made about climate change, right? So like a lot of people say the world's getting hotter, the polar caps are melting, we're gonna lose beachfront, we're gonna, the water's gonna push up on like swallow New York City or swallow Miami type shit. But an actual argument can be made that we're actually cooling. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we're starting to see like these polar vortexes. We're starting to see the world like Elon, I guess, explained it best. I'm kind of butchering it right now, but we're actually in a cooling period, which could be way worse than a heating period because if we have what's called an ice age, we are pretty not looking good at all. Also, shout out to Maggie May, who just started following us on Rumble. Thanks for watching. Yeah. And again, this is another good segue into the most recent UFO stuff because we have seen an uptick, right? And there's still no clarification on the drones. Although there have been a couple whistleblowers that have come out on 4chan recently. So to sum most of it up, and I'm sure Irv has some of it ready to go, but the first one we saw was earlier in the week, and it was a guy that claimed he was in Antarctica in 2022, Irv.
Yes.
And they did a recovery mission of one of these egg UAPs, and they found it in like an abandoned military complex. Like that's kind of how they described it. It wasn't an actual military complex, but when they got in there, they found one of these egg UAPs and then a stasis chamber with a being in it. And if you want, Irv, if you have it, I guess we can just pull it up and read it off of there.
You want the 4chan?
It's up to you. Whatever's easier for you. I would assume the screenshots are going to be harder, right?
Yeah, maybe. I got the name of that book too. The Adam and Eve story. It's the CIA. Adam and Eve story, declassified by CIA.
Okay, so it was declassified or classified?
It was classified, and parts of it were declassified recently. But
oh damn, so they did a dirty like that too. Like they only declassified some of it.
Some of it, and they classified it like 50 years ago.
Damn.
But the book is crazy. I gotta dig into it for sure.
Well, a lot of what we're starting to see again is like we're starting to see that there's a certain thing to consciousness and reality and shit like that, because a lot of this is moving in like almost telepathic direction, you know. And it's going to be fun to see how it manifests, because everybody out here about to be telepathic.
Gotta start working on my shit.
Yeah, I know. Well, Greer came out and said some shit too about how like he was like CE5 is kind of like what Jake Barber is talking about, but less militarized and less invasive. Yeah, so he basically said like that they were setting up these things, like setting them up to land, and then but if the 4chan thing holds any weight, that's kind of interesting too, because there was a being, allegedly a 100-year-old being, that said that he was from Earth, like he was from there. And they were just an advanced civilization that were, you know, whatever, and they were keeping an eye on us. But it was interesting because the egg had like hieroglyphs on them, and they were described as Nordic beings. And they also said that our creators weren't very good extraterrestrials, and that they were trying to protect us from the creators, and that like religion was engineered.
All of it?
So that's why I don't want to misquote it, but whenever we can go through it, there was definitely a lot of them, so we don't have to go through all of them. We can just share the link in the actual.
I got some of the pictures right now.
That works.
I'll pull up that story. But this is the egg.
So this is the egg that was allegedly found in Antarctica, in a cave in what was described as almost like an abandoned military complex. As you can see, for anybody that was with us for the News Nation Jake Barber interview, this looks exactly like the egg that they were transporting as well. In my opinion. I guess everybody could see shit differently, but look at that thing. Pearly white, no means of propulsion, no way to get in or get out. Didn't seem hollow, the guy said. They were actually pretty light, he would say, in terms of weight. And then he also said that there was a stasis chamber, which this is allegedly the stasis chamber. And this again was taken in a cave in Antarctica in 2022. Allegedly, this guy, this is on 4chan. There's been another cat too that, I mean, they have some really cool information. It's either a really good story or it could be real. But allegedly, they found a 700-year-old being in the stasis chamber. They allegedly woke it up, communicated with it. It said, oh, this is the video, right?
Yeah, the
still grab.
helicopter. Yeah.
There it is. Look at that.
And that's mountains below. It looks like trees because of the night vision, but that's mountain ranges in Antarctica.
Right. It just looks like awfully similar, you know. But again, he said that another interesting thing that he said, though, or was that these things don't crash land. You know, so like he really was calling like these recent retrievals. So the second they both said that like they just didn't experience these things falling. This thing was there, you know, like they basically stumbled upon it in Antarctica. But these retrievals are almost like controlled disclosure in a sense.
Oh, like they're giving it to us to let us know more about them.
In a sense, like they're just not crashing. He's like we've observed a lot of these and not one has ever crashed and like crash landed, been summoned. Like it's just like a kind of a little stray from the path of what we've been hearing lately. Oh yeah, see, there you go. Look at you. So these are markings allegedly that were taking on the egg. And a lot of them look hieroglyphic to me. I just can't tell. What does it say? Oh, so it says hieratic numerals. Is that what it says? Hieratic?
Let's see.
Hieratic
numerals. Hieratic numerals. Egyptian.
So there's like, who knows if these are spells? They say it's numerals, but, or is it a mathematical equation? Is it a series of numbers that harness a certain frequency? Like what's wild about it though is that here we are and we have so many people now that are coming forward. It's just getting crazy. But a couple of these 4chan guys were like, yeah, you got to watch out for like the Stephen Greers and the Jake Barbers. You know, because
that's what they said.
Yeah, because, and I kind of agree in one sense, because it's like, oh, wait, I have all this information, but hey, go buy all my books to get it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like grifter shit, you know. It's where, again, if you're releasing information for the good of humanity, you wouldn't, you know, You wouldn't fucking make it a spectacle. It's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing with Jeremy Corbell in a sense. Like, as much as I love these cats, it's like every video is so well produced that it's a show. It's not like a disclosure event. You know what I mean? It's like a 2-part series, or it's releasing on TMZ, or it's like, I feel like, don't get it twisted. I want guys to earn a living. I want guys to do their thing, but it's like, are you any better than the government that's holding it from us if you're putting a paywall in front of it?
I agree. I totally agree. And I mean, that's more of a reason for this 4chan type of thing. Which I don't doubt if it's some of those guys doing it at this point. To say screw this, man. Like, we're tired of it. It's yeah, I don't know, man. All those guys just been like, Lou Elizondo's been pissing me off lately. Corbell. It's just like they're always like, oh, wait till this comes. Like, this is coming. Like, oh, this is coming. Then they drop something, and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Oh, this is coming next. Like, it's just a slow disclosure shit, bro. Like, just say what it is, man. Stop playing games.
Well, right, and that's it. Is like, but you need that slow drip to make money off of it. If you just came out and told us exactly what was going on, it limits your monetary potential in a sense, because now you're not tuning in to their shit all the time. Like us, we follow them cats. So it's like, yo, we kind of look for like, okay, cool. Are they going to drop some? Is DeLonge going to drop something? Is Greer going to drop something? Is Elizondo? Like, even one of the 4chan cats said something about Elizondo. He was like, I would be a little concerned with the Christian fundamentalist approach. You know what I mean? From like a Lou Elizondo, because he's like, oh, these are demons. All right. So this might be in the middle of the conversation, but it says, how did his voice sound? This is allegedly one of the Special Forces cats talking to a 700-year-old extraterrestrial, interterrestrial, whatever. According to the astrobiologist I spoke with, the voice sounds like your own. It's strange. He basically said it sounds like when you're thinking a monologue. Can you let us know anything he said? Many things. 1, he was born here 700 years ago. 2, he says the closer we got to understand God was the corpus hermetium, which is, I believe, Hermeticism. 3, he considers us selfish and childish. 4, he says we were happier during his time. Can't tell you more than this. 5, their race saved us millions of years ago from our creators who basically engineered us to save them. 6, Earth should be treasured. It's a miracle. What info do you know about their origin, culture, and reason to be here? We're still trying to understand their origin. His notion of space and time is different from ours. They came here as space missionaries. When they arrived, another advanced race was already here. This other race created Homo neanderthalensis to serve them and help them take Earth's resources. However, it was a failure, and Homo sapiens were created later on. When the, quote, space missionaries arrived, they entered into a war with the other race to save us. Since then, they have been protecting us. In fact, in 1975, they stopped the nuclear war, which we would have to dive into whatever happened in 75. We lost it. All right. Since then, they have been protecting us. In fact, back in 1975, they stopped a nuclear war. The other race, according to the entity, represents what we would become if we don't change. Advanced oppressors with no spirituality to guide us. Their last conflict here on Earth occurred in 1561 during the celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg.
Whoa.
So now, obviously, we would have to dive into like whatever celestial phenomenon that was, but these are like actual events that have happened. You know, we've seen videos of UAPs taking down nukes and disarming them. Like it's gonna fall out of the sky. It's not gonna detonate. It's not gonna go off. It's just dead. You know. And then for me, it's like, is it really out of that far out of the realm of possibility?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just leaning more and more like something exists, right? Something's happening for sure. Like there's things, beings, whatever they are out there. All of the ancient texts, like all of the shit that's coming out now. I'm just leaning more and more to that side of things, man. Um, we've known our history's been hidden from us, and it's like we're reawakening to it.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that assessment. Is that we're again getting to a point where it can no longer be hidden from us. So, and especially with the second 4chan guy that came out, he was an oceanographer that had allegedly observed these things coming out, and like he said, over the last couple of years, he was like, we would see them all like 40, you know, at a clip here and there, but he's like, we're starting to see like these spots open up on Earth where these things are just coming out constantly now. And they're surveying infrastructure, they're surveying everything. So, but what he did say was, he was like, not once has he seen one go down, and not once have they acted in a hostile manner. So he does feel like the second one also feels like they're here to protect us.
They're here to protect us. I mean, they really have to be. I mean, we're trying to take them down. We chase them, try to shoot them or whatever. But
Well, you made
we
another
can.
good point. If they're inner Earth beings, like say they were here long before us, right? This is a civilization that is millions of years more advanced than us, right? We're encroaching on every part of their doorstep in a sense, because look, we put oil rigs in the oceans, wires, submarines, divers, everything you think of, garbage in the ocean. We've taken over the mountains. We've got all the mountains. We've taken over the caves. We've, everything you can think of, we've encroached upon on this planet. So really, now we're like, yeah, they may be inner Earth. Let's just say they're inner Earth beings. We're still pushing towards a point where we're fucking their shit up. It's like the fleas on the back of a dog. It's like
That's very true. That's very true. I could see meetings happening. Like, yo, there's a faction. I'd be like, yo, we got to take care of these cats up here because they're gonna be down here soon. You know what I mean? Like, and then a
yeah.
faction that may be like, no, it's our duty to protect them, type of deal. Like, they're young species, they're learning, whatever. I
Right.
could see there being multiple factions. Because if I was down there, I'd be like, yo, man, these cats are everywhere now.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And not only that, but you like there had like both of them did kind of allude, like the one cat alluded to an agreement being made. So there was some sort of communication, you know what I mean, between the government or parts of the government and these extraterrestrial beings or whoever they are, interterrestrial, whatever.
Mm,
Something was agreed upon, because they would basically give us tech, we would give them whatever. And a lot of people feel like that was people, but I don't think it's the same faction. You know what I mean? I think
yes,
that's the bad guys, you know. Actually, like the reptilians and shit. Like they want the fucking people.
people.
So, but again, it's pretty big news considering all the shit that's coming out. We don't know how true it is, but it's something to look at. We'll put the 4chan links in the YouTube description, so if anybody wants them, they can go check it out. It's a rabbit hole, man. There's like just like this whole conversation from start to finish of people asking homie questions. He can answer some, he couldn't, and then he would answer, not answer some. But the shit that's, what do you think? Or it was just like 7 foot, 8 foot Nordic aliens just showed up.
Yeah, it looked like all of the cave drawings and statues and shit out there around the world, like the old shit. Like, wait, why is homie so damn tall or whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
You
it's
know what
wow, man.
I thought about the other day? So, and anybody out there listening, if you guys notice this either, um, ever seen a movie with elves in them? Like, so, like, for example, like Lord of the Rings, Legolas, Elrond, shit like that. Like,
Hmm.
elves are always portrayed as tall, blonde haired, beautiful specimens, right? Across every dynamic in Hollywood, right? There's sometimes you get an ugly elf or you get something weird like that, but they're almost super reminiscent of the Nordics.
Hmm.
Fair skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. And this is why, what's his face? Who was it? They're calling him a racist. It's Joe Rogan's guy. He did
Oh, damn, what do you do, man?
no, it was damn, I'm trying to think of his, why am I drawing a blank? He's such a good dude. Older cat.
Oh, older dude.
Yeah, he did Ancient Apocalypse.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Graham
have to Google
Hancock.
it.
Graham
Graham
Hancock.
Hancock.
Yeah.
They were calling him racist because he was describing these Nordic aliens, you know what I mean, this Nordic race of people that were in more advanced civilization, lost civilization, and they were telling him that he was taking away all the credit from like the indigenous people and shit.
Oh, multiple things can be true. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I fuck with Graham.
yeah, Graham's the fucking man. Did you see that alien it's
The
like
what?
all of the all it's like a graphic of all of the different types of aliens.
Who put it out? I didn't see that.
Um
Let's see it if
let's
you can
see.
find it. We got 20 with us still. 17 on X, one on YouTube, one on Facebook, one on Twitch. And shout out to everybody on Rumble as well. Appreciate you guys. We're coming up on midnight. Getting late. Where you guys from?
Hanging out with us, huh? We love it.
Nah, it is. It's so much fun, man. There's just so much going on. It's hard to even, it's hard to even keep up.
Yeah, it is.
Bro, we lost Jimmy Carter in the mess. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
fucking.
You're dying. Forget about it, bro. You got a day.
Yeah.
You got that day, bro. Like, because your shit's gone, buried under the news heap.
Yeah, let's get that motherfucking graph. It would be cool if it was real. Listen, I gotta believe there's every kind of extraterrestrial. There's infinite possibilities of what, we can have like insectoids, like little mosquitoes could be aliens, fucking. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got a reptoid, height 6'5". We got a hybrid, 5 foot, a Palladian, 6 foot, a Zeta Rectilian, 4 foot, which would be more like a gray, and then a Zeta Orion tall gray. Now, I mean, I guess it kind of fits with most of the narratives. The reptilians have always been a I guess a constant in the alien lore because they're shapeshifters. They allegedly come here and feed on fear and anxiety and despair, and they want to eat your face type shit. And Palladians, there's always been a lot of talk of Palladians throughout history. Zeta Reticuli as well. But I do feel like the Anunnaki, whichever ones they would be, I just don't see them being that, like if there was like an actual race of Anunnaki.
Yeah, no, I don't see them.
So it just looks too like cookie cutter for me, but at the same time, this is somebody out there just putting fucking a couple models together.
Because if they are what people say they saw over time,
right?
They're missing Mantis. Who the hell were we just talking about? The Nordics.
Yeah.
A few more. The Mantis are pretty intriguing for me because it's like, a life-size like humanoid mantis with the vicious head gone.
Yeah. Well, that's why, again, I feel like if there was anything that was able to make it here, I think that they're pretty far advanced, and I look, again, they could be warring over Earth and we could have a couple different factions. Like this one dude said, it could have been, there was one that was already here. They kind of built us. They brought us up, but they were like the bad parent of the puppy. You know what I mean? Like so they kicked them out. Like they kicked the like Anunnaki out or whoever, and they kind of let us flourish. But you would have, and one of them said that like now you like what we're seeing is we're having like almost like illegal aliens in the traditional sense happening with actual extraterrestrials, interterrestrials. They're saying that they're starting to come to our planet because like one, it's just like almost like a refuge, and two, a lot of them are scouts. Like a lot of them
Oh,
are scouts
coming
coming,
to scout shit.
just come, just coming to check shit out. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what's going on over here? You know?
Yeah. That's yeah. I mean, it's we covered so much shit with this alien shit, like, and it's all actually possible. Um, because the universe is crazy, man. Like, I plug in, I plug in, different metrics on AI, based like, okay, if life started on a planet 10 times the mass of Earth, and it was methane, it was based on methane instead of water, like, what would they be like? And AI be creating for every single scenario I give it, it creates this life form that is totally weird, totally like not, like, it
Well, you
just
give
it
life
just opens my mind, like, there's so many different variations out there. And AI is just like, I'm building it out of this chemistry. This is what this shit would be. So I know for
and
a
you know,
fact
it's,
there's hella life out there.
yeah, and think about it like this though, Irv, is this like when you imagined it, you created it. So when you gave this thing, when you gave this thing the details, AI just built that somewhere. That's that. You just spoke it into existence.
Crazy.
You know what I
Yo,
mean?
that's wild. All right. That's wild,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
Yeah, that's some wild shit, bro. Cause I'm just like, I'm in the
deep.
lab, like this and this. Yeah, man. That's like Titan, moon around Jupiter. Like, we sent the probe there, and they have liquid methane there. Super cold. Like, it doesn't freeze. Super cold temperatures. But they're just like, oh, there was nothing there. And I'm like, I asked, I think it was Grok. Well, what was first? I'm like, could there be life on Titan? It's like, most likely not, but probably. And I'm like, build me a life form based off if it evolved on Titan, and it had blood that was like methane that wouldn't freeze. It was sick. It was like eating, like, its energy was based off chemical breakdowns in its body. Like, it was like tall, linky. Like, I'm like, holy shit! And they put it together like it would work.
Yeah. Well, but that's
Maybe.
it though, is if you give life the chance, it's going to take whatever environment it has and it's going to thrive. Like it is what it is. Like it's just like the depths of our oceans or at the bases of our volcanoes. That shit thrives.
Thrives, bro.
Um and I think it would be no different from most planets. I'm sure some are inhospitable, you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, there's a lot that are. They're talking about there's Earth-sized like planets that could be infinite now, you know?
Yeah, untold amount. Yeah, at different time frames, different evolutions. That's why I'm just like, this. Even the space shit, it's the same. It reminds me of the UFO shit, bro. Because I'm like, you guys are looking way the fuck out there, and you don't see a damn thing. We're all
Yeah,
alone. We're all alone. They don't pay attention to what's happening in our skies or in our oceans right here. It's like, come
yeah.
on, man. Fucking crock of shit.
Well, right, but again, there's a certain control that needs to be had, and if we were told that we were infinite beings, bro, a lot of their government bullshit wouldn't work. You know, it's like you have to lie about our history. You have to keep us down. You have to keep us spiritually declined as opposed to spiritually inclined.
Hmm.
And and Otherwise, guess what? We wouldn't be dealing with oil. We wouldn't be dealing with the fucking money. We wouldn't be. No, everybody would be good. You know, so we really do got to break free, and I think this is the time, man. 2025 is going to be 2025 is going to be bananas, and there's going to be a lot of cool information coming out. We're still waiting on those whistleblowers from Greer. See what happens over there. And Trump still got to let us know what's going on with the drones.
He talked about it. He said he put his chief of staff on it. It's like, find out what's up with these drones. We'll see now.
Yeah, right.
He already knew about it.
Well, of course, he's gonna talk his shit. But again, if it's something like that, though, how do you explain that to people? So if it's really like a bunch of shit ton of UFOs that are mimicking our aircraft, like they're, because that's what one of the guys said too, is when they were observing these things, they would change shape, they would look like something else, but their baseline, their quantum something or another, I can't remember exactly what he said, always stayed the same. It was either spherical or like tic-tac shaped. So it's just mimicking something else. How does Trump come out and say that to people?
He can't.
Like, we don't know where they're coming from. Or maybe we do. Maybe we do. But they're quite literally interterrestrial beings. So say what's up. Say what's up to the, you know what I mean? And technically we're the visitors. Go figure.
Wild shit, bro.
You know? But we'll keep up to date with everybody. Again, shout out to everybody that tapped in tonight. We're a little lower on the numbers, but we kept it real. Everybody was here with us. You got anything else for these guys, Irv?
Nah, man. Just thank you for always tapping in with us. Shout out to everybody out there. Don't forget, we're on every major site, even Spotify. A couple more things. Ed knows them all. Let's keep it weird.
Yep. Let's keep him. I don't know. He kind of glitched up there towards the end there, Irv. But yeah, we're on all of the social media apps and the Apples, the iHearts, the Spotify's, all the bullshit. We do appreciate you guys, and thank you so much. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Hit that subscribe button. Peace.